So, welcome to another video. Today, there's a little bit of a difference here in the setup and such, and I'm working on it. But this is yeah, there's something going on. But anyways, welcome to a new video. Today, obviously, I'm gonna make an English video because all of the content that has been creating around what I'm gonna be talking about is in English. So maybe I do a Spanish version or something. But I just want to highlight something that Blizzard has been doing in the past week, I want to say, and it's the conversations with content creators. Um, what am I talking about? Okay, let me share my screen. So that sounded very like work when I say let me share my screen. So I apologize. So we have developers from Blizzard having interviews directly with content creators. In this case, it's Rax, right? If you don't know, Rax is the guy with the blue hoodie who plays a lot of ARPGs. Um, they also did one with Darth Microtransaction, another guy who became big on YouTube as a Diablo 4 content creator. You probably have seen him. And I did a reaction video about something else with him. And then Riker, which is I don't know. If you play Diablo, you know Riker. I'm gonna estimate. So yeah, they did this round of interviews. There's probably more interviews. I just these are the three that I've seen, and I just gotta say, what a great move! What a fantastic move! Because here's the thing. For two reasons. Some of these content creators, I'm not gonna say Darth or even Riker, but Rax, I don't know, he has certain attitude and a certain tone when he's talking about Diablo 4. And actually in the interview, I sensed this kind of, I don't know, vibe that he was like, I'm ready to outsmart these guys. And they had really solid responses to every question, actually. Um, and there was a point where Rax, I felt he toned down, he kind of backed off a little bit, and he was like, okay, maybe I'm not going to outsmart these guys. Um, and I think that was great because that eliminates toxicity in the community. We as players, and there's some content that I'm doing around that, or I already expressed that we tend to play games as if we are developers and experts in designing games and reviewers and that sort of stuff. We actually ruin the games for ourselves by doing that. So there were a lot of questions. I love one part of Rax's questions that were about the skill tree. And the response was, we are not going to in the future make a we something along the lines of we have nothing to announce on updates to the skill tree on Diablo 4. And in that conversation, he mentioned the guys from Blizzard mentioned like something along the lines of we don't want to make it very complicated. We don't want to make it complicated at all. We want to make it very digestible and very easy to understand for new players to come in and play Diablo 4. And in that, Rax mentioned, yeah, you don't want to make it an encyclopedia like PoE. And they were clear in saying no. And this is one of the things that I've been saying about the conversation on Diablo 4, that everyone is comparing Diablo 4 to PoE as if Diablo 4 is trying to compete with PoE. And I don't think so. I never thought that Blizzard was trying to compete or to take away players from PoE because the PoE players are not their target audience. And this is something that I think many content creators and players don't understand about Diablo 4. Whether you like it or not, Diablo 4 is a game designed to for the masses. It's not designed for this niche that Diablo once was. But back in the day when Diablo was niche, gaming was niche. But now it's not the same. It's, yeah, out there it's not the same. So Diablo 4 is a game not designed for the ultra hardcore ARPG players like PoE. And I love that response, not because I love Diablo being simple or not being as complex, but because there's a design behind the game that we play. And sometimes we forget that. Sometimes we judge the game by what we want the game to be instead of what the game is. Um, and I kind of sensed a little bit of that in all the Riker, no, because Riker is a little bit more. Um, I'm not gonna say. I mean, Riker is the guy. It's kind of a mediator. He's the one that acts as a mediator between the community and Blizzard a little bit more, even though he's not necessarily a mediator. Um, but these other guys are a little bit more condescending and a little bit more passionate, let's say. So especially Rax, in my opinion, if Rax ever sees this video, I'm sorry, not nothing against you, but that's my interpretation of how you came across. So I apologize. Hopefully you don't take this the wrong way. However, I follow you and I watch your streams, so it's not like I don't like you. But yeah, and the other part of all of this is me as a creative in the advertising industry. What a genius move in terms of marketing. I really love this move that Blizzard has made uh, of just going out there, real talk, with content creators, saying the things that were, being honest, being direct, being with the community, being empathetic, and being relatable and approachable. I really like this approach in marketing and PR that Blizzard has executed. And believe me, I think it's working very well. I think that it brings understanding in the community, because all of the what the community listens is, I'm not gonna say these three guys that I've just mentioned are this type of guys, but a lot of the conversation that the community, the players read and listen to is just toxicity against the game because it's not as deep as PoE, because it has its flaws, because it's not perfect, because reason after reason to kind of trash the game. And the fact that they come and they actually respond to many questions that community has had, and respond in a way that I feel is very honest, because it's not the same, this Bethesda presentation that we just saw about the Starfield update. I'm gonna be opening that here. It feels very fake, it feels so fake, to be honest. And it's not the same in PR and as a marketing move. I don't think that really feels authentic, and I don't know. I don't think it comes across the right way. When you see this, um, I'm opening the video. When you see this, where is it? Oh, I'm sorry, my headphones turned off. Um, but when you see, let me share. Oh, it's sharing already.
So, Tim,
So
we just talked to Joe and
when
Eastfawn.
you
We
see
talked a little
this,
bit about Update 4 and what's coming, but is there anything else that you want to talk about that's down the horizon?
you can tell
So
they're
we're going
trying
to be
to act
starting
very
our first
natural,
land vehicle, so you can drive around on
but it's
planets.
so scripted. It
Obviously, we're
feels
working on
so
more quests
fake,
and the
right?
massive Shattered Space expansion.
Feels so
That's all very
produced,
exciting.
so
What about
staged.
solutions? Anything you can share there?
I think we mentioned it
Anything you can
earlier
share
this
there?
year,
I
but
mean,
we
she's doing it well, but you know what I mean? It doesn't feel authentic. It doesn't feel approachable and relatable. It feels very staged. Very, I mean, these people went through rehearsals doing that. It feels very corporate. And I don't think gamers receive that very well. That's one of the things that marketing in gaming is doesn't really understand. I don't know. I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but I just feel that let me fix this camera. I just play. I'm just using a new camera, and I don't feel like it's okay. Um, that's a bit better. But thing is, I don't feel like marketing. I don't want to sound arrogant or anything, but marketing in games, it seems like it's being executed by people who don't understand their target audience. Um, and when you see this kind of thing, it just doesn't connect. Versus when you see something like this,
trying to get this fight down. And
you
when you
know,
think about a game like Elden Ring, right, and you go and you watch people go like wipe on Millennia like 400 times,
I know
right?
I'm
That's like the
blocking,
baseline experience of that
but
game.
you get my point. It feels very natural. It feels very not produced. It feels very authentic, very approachable. They're being very honest. They're actually accepting their flaws. They actually accepting, you know, receiving feedback. I know people make fun of Blizzard always saying they receive feedback or listen to feedback, but you see live there where Riker or DM or Rax brings some questions and feedback, and they come back saying, "Oh, that's a really good idea. I think we can bring it to the team and see if they can do something about that." Or yeah, we feel like that could be better, and we're in conversations, da da da, and they always give a reason that to me is not. It might not be what I want to listen, but it's at least something compelling enough that makes me feel okay. They're listening and they're doing something. Like sometimes they just like, yeah, we know we have that issue. We're thinking about it. We're talking about it. We just haven't found the right solution for it, etc., etc. And at least and then when people are talking about, when the questions come about like the skill tree or some other features that people like the stronghold feature, there was a long conversation about the strongholds and why the strongholds are the work the way they work, and there was a very logical reason for why they stick or they have stuck to how the strongholds work. They're not saying they cannot improve what they already have, but they were very clear what are the problems and what's the kind of give and take, or not give and take. I don't know. I'm losing my English already. I'm sorry. English is not my first language, but what's the balance between what we lose and what we gain? Because they explain how when we add a feature, there's stuff that we're gonna be losing, or there's stuff we're not going to be, hit it on in order to get the gain or of this other of the feature in the game, that the new features that they're adding. So I don't know if I'm explaining myself well. The thing is, the main point is that it's very, very, very um direct, very feels very honest. It feels very authentic and approachable and empathetic. And I think they've done a great job, the marketing team, in doing these interviews in this way. Because they're even facing people who, Rax went there. I don't know. I feel like Rax went into the interview like, I'm gonna destroy these people because I have all my notes of what makes this game better, and I'm gonna show them how I can make it better. And then there were logical responses to the questions, and it was noticeable how Rax kind of, okay, And then he was like, I'm really happy you're doing that. I'm really happy you're thinking about that. I'm really happy about the response. Da, 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 da. So um yeah, it changes the tone in the gamers and and the in the conversation online to be a little bit more humble. And I think they are doing a great job. So yeah, this has been a marketing PR move that a lot of developers and publishers should take note of and learn from, because this is how I think this is one of the ways that we gamers kind of connect with the developers and with the brands and with the games. Like honest conversations, direct conversations over Zoom, not a stage, not a scripted thing, presentation a la, Apple or something like that. No, it's not the same thing. Games are not the same product. Games are something else. The games live in between this kind of tangible product, art, and service all blend together. That it's not the same as a consumer good. And I sometimes I feel like marketing treat games as if it was a consumer good or just an entertainment, but it's entertainment, but it's a product also, a good, but it's also a service. It's a very complicated market, and I think the approach has to be different. It can't be. And what this is not the entire piece of a marketing strategy, of course, but this little piece of having these honest conversations over Zoom, not produced, unscripted, you know, crude, accepting the mistakes, and actually sometimes even brainstorming live with the content creator there. That's great. Of course, there's probably things there that are like, they know what to respond, and if we get this kind of question, this is what we're gonna respond. But still, it feels very authentic, and I think these interviews connect very well with the gamers, with their target audience. So I just wanted to talk about that a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna leave it at this. Um, Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Did you watch the interviews? Are there more interviews other than the ones that I showed here? What did you think? Are you playing Diablo 4? The next season that is it's live next Tuesday, May what? May 14. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the like button or dislike button. That would be great too. Subscribe and share with your friends. Yeah, cool. I'm out.